Eddie, say, do you ever pull random hairs off of people while you're in line at a Starbucks?
I do. I do that. if I notice it. If you're not grooming yourself properly, then you're going to have hairs all over your back.
Okay.
And so I grab them sometimes and I pull them off.
I know you want to be a helper, but that's super messed up.
Yeah, it's weird. But it's like compulsory.
Okay.
If I'm at the airport and somebody's in front of me and I see it and it's just, I just can't not.
Certainly someone's caught you.
No, not once.
Come on. Nobody's
caught me.
How do you know?
I'm a smooth operator.
Dude, there's no way someone somewhere has seen you and been like, freak.
No. No one's seen me.
Okay. All right. Are you ready to hit it?
I'm ready to hit it. Just tell me where to hit.
Let's hit it.
All right. And this is the music?
This is the music. You can't hear it, but it's happening right now. I mean, it's pretty high.
Did you get your Cabbage Patch in?
I don't do that. I do this thing. Whatever this is.
Like at your
This
club?
is my move. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just keep it tight. Like in Hitch. Just stay in the zone. That's your zone. Stay in the zone.
Hey, what is up? Welcome to the Gapcast. I am your host, Jim Barnard. I have a very special guest with me. Eddie or Edward? Are you in this professional or?
I always go by Eddie.
Always Eddie.
Only Twilight fans call me Edward.
Oh, I am Team Edward.
Oh, God.
I've never seen the movie, for the record.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You should never see the movie.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
fine.
Guys, with me today is Eddie Eccker. And this guy, holy cow, I don't even know how to introduce you other than, am I allowed to say that
you can say whatever you want.
You're my counselor.
Right.
Like, I put that on wax. I have a counselor. This is the man behind the legend. No,
that's right.
Come on. That's a terrible.
That's so bad.
It's a terrible way to say it. No, but you do make me who I am. And I'm very thankful for you.
I appreciate that.
All right, Eddie, I don't know how to lead you in. Like, tell people who you are.
So I am the greatest. I am the man behind the legend.
Love this.
It's like the woman behind the man.
Yeah.
That makes sense, right?
You're the woman, yes.
Yeah, so I'm a counselor. I've been doing therapy for, I've been in mental health just shy of 20 years. I've been doing counseling proper for, I don't know, maybe 17, 18 years. And I've been in Colorado doing it for about 15. We've had our business here. So yeah, I do a lot of couples counseling. I do a lot of individual work, an array of things from trauma to just kind of organizing someone's life.
Yeah.
Dealing with all kinds of stuff. So
amazing.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. That was better than I was going to do.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah. I should have been more professional and had a typed out thing.
I expected that, but
we deal with expectation gaps here. Okay. So I'm sorry that you've got.
That's the gap.
My bad. I just need you to live in that tension. So, Eddie is a co-founder.
Yep. So I co-founded Voyages Counseling in Colorado. We currently have 5 locations, looking to slim it down to 3. As weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
But we do have a number of locations. We employ a number of people. We just launched in August of 2025 our neurofeedback program in Lone Tree, and that is really going well. It's making a lot of differences where people get stuck in therapy or where therapy is kind of too slow. This helps people get a little bit more unstuck and kind of speeds up the process, which is super cool.
Yeah.
So we started that just shy of 15 years. I think September it'll be 15 years we started this business.
Yeah.
With a guy I actually went to graduate school in California with. He happened to move out here, and our paths crossed again. And we started it. Yeah.
Okay, I love neuro. I think neuro is the most amazing therapy.
It is awesome.
I did it when I was down at Honey Lake, and I wish I could have done it a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could have done it separate from medicine changes that they were doing there.
Yeah. So
that I could kind of see to what degree medicine was helping me, to what degree neuro was helping me. But I think neuro is incredible.
Yeah,
now, people watching, listening probably are some people know, other people are I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Some hibbity-dibbity.
It's some hookity-dookity.
Yeah.
No, it's actually really simple in that it is based out of, what would it be? like a classical conditioning, like Pavlovian conditioning. And so it's very behavioral based, and it works through kind of mad science in some sense. We're reading brainwave activity, and we're training the brain while watching a TV or listening to a sound or something to that effect, music, whatever. And you learn actually to control these devices, the television or the audio or both, through your brainwave activity. So essentially, the base form of it is it's brain training, and it trains things that are either over-functioning, it trains them down in certain regions of the brain, or it trains them up in certain regions of the brain, which is super cool. And that's kind of the base understanding of it. We're giving you a stimulus, we're training the brain, and we can reduce anxiety, we can increase focus. One of the things for me, I did it like, God, how many years ago? I was at Biola. So this is like 2022 maybe. And I was about to get fired from a job because
Oh, that's a cool thing to put on the podcast.
Yeah. So I was an RA at Biola, and we had the same meeting every week.
Yeah.
And I forgot to go repeatedly.
Oh, gosh.
It was at the same time. It was at the same location. Very routine, which works for somebody like me with ADD, but I couldn't remember.
Sure.
I just get distracted by other things.
Yeah.
And so we, my boss at the time sat me aside and said, "Hey, look, you need to figure this out. Like, we're going to fire you if you don't start showing up to meetings."
Wow.
And so I didn't know what to do. I went to the counseling center over at Rosemead School of Psychology, and I'm like, "Hey, look, they want to fire me. I can't remember to show up at meetings. What's going on?"
Wow.
And so I got the discount of getting all the testing and everything like that. And he's like, "Yeah, you definitely have some raging ADD."
Wow.
And so he prescribed for me neurofeedback. And at the time, it was very rudimentary. The technology has been around for a long time, maybe since the 80s.
Yeah.
But in the early 2000s, late 90s, it was still very rudimentary. And I started doing that, and it actually made a big difference for me. So like the example I use when I talk to people about it is when I would be in like a lecture hall or something like that, I would just zone out. I would completely check out. I'd like float away in my mind. I'd be on the moon. And then when I started doing neurofeedback, it actually helped kind of reveal to me that I was floating away. So I had that sort of meta awareness of, oh, I'm checking out. And it gave me then the ability to then check back in because I now knew it.
Yeah.
Before, I would just wake up at the end of class. Like, I had no idea what was going on. I would just wake up like, oh, class is over. What class is this? I didn't even know where I was at.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it was so bad. And that was part of the reason why I almost got fired as an RA, because I just kept checking out.
Yeah,
I was
sure.
so unaware of what was going on. So neurofeedback and almost getting fired was actually life-changing for me because it allowed me to actually improve my academic pursuits significantly.
So you didn't get fired?
I did not get fired. I probably was not the best fit, though, for the job.
Okay. And this was an RA job.
Yeah,
so, like,
it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. But I still probably wasn't the best. In fact, they actually didn't hire me for the job. And that summer, they didn't hire me. They called me and they hired somebody else. And that person didn't want to do it. They bailed. So I was like a second stringer.
Yeah.
And so then they called me, and I was actually a camp counselor up in Washington State.
Okay.
And so then they hit me up and said, "Hey, you want to do this?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And so I drove from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. the next day straight from Silverdale, Washington to LA.
Holy cow.
Yeah, nonstop.
I mean, you were headed there anyways, but you had to get there faster.
Yeah, I had to get there much faster.
Yeah.
That was kind of a weird story too. When I got to the school, it was 4 a.m. Nobody was there, no students on campus. So I just found an open window on a dorm room, and I just let myself in.
You broke into school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I slept. So the whole drive, I know I'm tangenting quite a bit, but the whole drive down from from Silverdale, I was eating Tim's Cascade jalapeno chips.
That sounds awful.
I was eating fast food.
Yeah.
I was drinking Dr. Pepper and energy drinks.
Yeah.
The whole way. I think I had a little bit of water on the drive. I was an idiot.
Yeah.
And hence, I probably wasn't the best choice for the RA job.
Yeah.
And so I'm driving down, and by the time I got there, right, it's 4:30 in the morning. I'm listening to metal the whole time to keep myself awake. And so I'm kind of strung out on caffeine.
Yeah.
And I go to sleep, in this dorm room that I opened up, and I still had my sleeping bag from the camp as a camp counselor. So I still had all my stuff, but I get in there, I sleep, and I slept shaking and shivering in a cold sweat, basically detoxing from caffeine.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That sounds like an expectation gap, Eddie. Have you worked through that? I love it.
That was so dumb.
Yeah. So I sort of want to get us back to neurofeedback, but I love that story.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how many bathroom breaks you took coming down.
So I had no shame. The side of the road was very available to me.
Yeah. Is it possible that you are the therapist with the smallest bladder?
It's possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No further questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Fair enough.
All right. So
I can talk about that.
Personal jokes. I'm so sorry. So, all right. So neurofeedback. So at Tiller, we do something different than counseling, although it feels like it, right? As a coach, I am more available than you are to
100%.
really walk with people. Like I can go out to breakfast or dinner with a guy that I coach. Like I can really get personal into their lives. I can help them move. I can do a lot of things to be in their lives. A counselor has less of that ability or availability, of course.
Right.
But so one of the things that I do often is guys that I coach or couples that I coach, hey, it feels like maybe you could use more than what I have to offer. Now, I'm not firing you, but I want to build a team. And so I will often refer people to a counselor. Often it's you. Okay. I've got a few people seeing you, which is awesome. We never talk about that.
Or deny anything.
Okay. Yeah. That's always the standard line. And I love that. We never talk about that. If you're watching that and are worried about that, Eddie is incredibly professional. But, sometimes it's hey, what about a psychiatrist? What about, a place like Honey Lake? I will refer out, and I've been referring a couple people towards neurofeedback.
Awesome.
Now, your facility is newer, and I don't know if I've referred anyone to yours yet. But when I tell people about what neurofeedback is, I'm going to tell you my depiction, and you're going to tell me where I'm wrong. Okay? Because I'm certain I'm wrong to some degree.
We'll see.
So
I'll judge harsh.
I say it like this. So we all have neural pathways that are established in our brains.
Right.
And often those neural pathways are established with some false identity, things that we believe about ourselves that, when we hear things, when we perceive things, we think it through this neural pathway that has this false identity kind of littered in it. So for me, the longest time, my false identity was that I'm an incapable person. I'm being very honest here. I am an incapable person. That's totally how I felt for just about the majority of my life. You know, people would say really benign things to me. Today I'm wearing Memphis Grizzlies shorts. NBA shorts are my love language. And so that's how I choose to dress every day. And so someone might come up and be like, oh, Memphis Grizzlies, huh? And the old me would take that information, think it through my neural pathway that has this incapable thought in it and be like, oh my gosh, what an idiot. This guy's totally right to call me out. I'm incapable of making a good decision. I'm not even a Memphis Grizzly fan. What a terrible decision. These shorts don't even really match well. Or I would just start going down this line of what an incapable person. And they're just nice shorts, bro, right?
Right.
So neurofeedback was a way to create new neural pathways that maybe aren't as affected by that false identity. And then just technically, the other thing I describe is we have brain waves that are just kind of all over the place. And so what they do, they put this EEG cap on your head.
Yeah, so that's for the brain map.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I feel like I had it every phase of neurofeedback.
Okay.
And maybe they did it wrong. I don't know. Maybe you do it wrong.
Maybe.
I doubt it.
I doubt
You're
it.
the consummate professional. Yes.
Yeah.
So they would, get these brain waves going all over the place.
Right.
And what they're trying to do is lock your brain waves within a threshold.
Correct.
And when you go outside of the threshold, the feedback,
Yep.
it could be a video, it could be a video game, it could
Right.
be music.
Right.
For me, there's a debate between eyes open and eyes closed that like maybe I'll get into here in a second.
Yeah.
But the feedback says, hey, you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Okay. You're keeping your brain waves within the threshold. And then every time you go in, they try to narrow the threshold to like train your brain more, create these new neural pathways, and win at life. Right? Like,
I mean, in basic form, yes.
Okay, good.
I would say one caveat. So it's not so much about one's thought life per se. Like if I'm very insecure, which I can relate to that story too. If I'm very insecure, it's not really training my insecurity, it's training the underlying anxiety in the brain. So when you do the QEEG, that's your brain map, you're going to identify areas of the brain that are, let's just say, anxiety. You're going to see very red areas of the brain, a lot of electrical activity going on there.
Yeah, amplitude. Oh, man.
All the language.
Yeah.
And when we identify those over-functioning areas like anxiety, which is going to lead to all those kind of looping thoughts, self-deprecating thoughts, that's where a lot of that's going to come from, is the anxiety. It's kind of paired, like the anxious brain is sort of paired with narratives about ourselves. And this is where the balance of coaching or therapy with neurofeedback actually has a great interplay, is that the neurofeedback is going to adjust the anxious brain and calm that down, whereas the coaching or therapy is going to deal with the narratives and belief systems.
Okay.
So in combination, it's quite a dynamic duo.
Yeah, absolutely.
In combination. So yes, I mean, most of what you said there is pretty dead on as far as neurofeedback goes, but the caveat would be it's not so much addressing the narrative identity, it's more addressing the literal brain functioning.
Yeah.
That's sort of supporting that narrative identity.
Okay. Well, you're wrong, but I appreciate you trying. Okay.
I did my best.
No, you're probably right. Honestly, like that makes a lot of sense. Just my thought process is that if you are creating new neural pathways, those are fresh. Like, you don't have litter along that pathway, right?
Yeah.
So
that's pretty true.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay.
I compare neurofeedback and I actually compare it a lot when I'm doing counseling with people too. Sometimes I'll describe even being in the room with me and thinking through things differently is creating new neural pathways.
Yeah.
So in some real sense, that's kind of a natural version of like a neurofeedback.
Yeah.
Because I'm the feedback loop. Like I'm giving the feedback to that process.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, let's get into the eyes open versus eyes closed debate. Now I'm saying it that way, and I don't actually know that anyone cares or debates it.
Probably not.
But I feel like I'm bringing some validity to the conversation here. Okay. Now, I don't think we've ever talked about this, but I am a incredible eyes closed evangelist. Like I'm an evangelist for Christ and for eyes closed neurofeedback. That those are the two things I'm about.
Okay. That's good. It makes tons of sense.
Yeah, no, totally. Right. So why I love eyes closed, like that's what we just did in my neurofeedback setting. They maybe gave me a choice and I was like, well, what's better? And she suggested eyes closed. I didn't know what I was doing. Right. And she didn't give any direction on like what you're supposed to do. She's like, I don't want to tell you what to do, but like you can pray, you can meditate, you can visualize, just kind of try some things in your head, like focusing in different ways to see how you get the feedback. So when your eyes are closed, I think there's probably no other options for feedback outside of music, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe electroshock could be a thing, but
I mean, we're working on getting cattle prods attached to our neurofeedback so that way if they're outside of the threshold, they just get zapped.
Yeah, that feels a little unethical, but I'm sure you're going to work that out.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, okay, good. That's so good. But like in the eyes closed, I found this thing that works for me, okay? And I'm not going to probably fully depict it right now because like it's probably too big and too boring for people. But I found this thing that I call like prayerful meditation, okay? There's this thing that I used to do when I was a kid. All right. This is really like weird and vulnerable, but like I used to, when I was like upset or like off kilter, I would like rub my eyes, and I would love to do that because have you ever like rubbed your eyes so much that you get like the static, the colors, the shapes, and it just feels very mystical. When I was a kid, I would love doing that because I felt like I was being transported maybe to heaven. Like if I could just do that hard enough that I maybe could see God. Now I know that that's weird, okay? But I was a kid, don't judge me.
Well, I mean, your parents were drug dealers, right? So they were giving you a lot of acid or something? Is that what it was?
No, that is not factual, okay?
Not factual.
They were a lot of things, Eddie, but not that.
Not drug dealers.
Yeah, okay, so I found this thing that like somehow I was able to lock in and get that same sensation without rubbing my eyes. Okay.
Oh, that's great.
And when I found that thing, the girl that was running, it was like that, whatever you're doing, do that. Cause I was getting a lot of music. Like
perfect.
I was locked into the threshold. And so what I love about that is, like I just did that every time. I've got reports before, mid, and after, and it's like clearly showing improvement of amplitude and coherence and words. I have no idea what they mean, but it looks cool and pretty on a graph, right?
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty. Okay.
That's what we're going for.
Yeah. That it's absolutely paramount, prettiness. So but why I love eyes closed is I could literally sit here and close my eyes.
And just bring it back.
Give me a moment. It's coming. Okay, there it is. Like for real, I'm seeing that same thing happening. Awesome. It takes me sometimes a minute to get there, but it's something that I can just do.
That's awesome.
Any time of the day, every day. And I don't get the feedback, but perhaps I'm doing something very therapeutic. I mean, it's therapeutic in that it's comforting me, it's calming me, whatever. But maybe I'm creating new neural pathways. Is it possible?
Well, you're what is it? So when we do neurofeedback, when you mentioned the QEEG. That's a full cap that goes on the brain. It measures everything going on. That's how we get all of our reports and assessments of what's really happening. When we do neurofeedback, the protocol sessions, we do a specific node that we place on the head, on the scalp, with like a conductive gel, and then we train only that region. We train that region usually.
Sure.
I don't know if we're doing, to be honest with you, I don't know if we're doing a lot of eyes closed. We are doing a lot of eyes open though, because most of it's feedback that way. But the premise is always the same. And probably what you've learned to do is actually control that specific region of the brain and adjust its functioning, which is what you're learning in neurofeedback is how to control a specific region, which is really crazy.
It is, absolutely.
That you can control specific regions of the brain. Consequently, when you do that, you will likely create new neural pathways, especially if you're doing that. Like, let's say it's in an anxiety-provoking situation, and then you control that region even on your own. Well, you're now creating new associations and new neural pathways in that new anxiety-provoking situation, which is super cool.
Yeah, so it is super cool. Yeah. So did I win the debate?
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally out. I guess full KO.
I mean, Eyes Open is cool. I had, her name was Ceci, I believe, and she was really cool. And we kind of became friends during the 12-something sessions. Yeah. I think I did. And on my last day, I was like, hey, could I try Eyes Open? Right. Like, I just want to know what that's like. Maybe that would help me, like, depict it to people that I might refer it to or whatever. And, and so for them, they had this video game. And it looked really cool. It was like Tony Hawk's skateboarding or something. That's and cool. When you were locked into the threshold, Tony would get on the skateboard and do tricks and ollies and hit a half pipe or something. I was like, oh, this is awesome. Yeah. But then when you were outside of the threshold, the feedback would stop. Tony would get off the skateboard and just tap his foot and wait for you. It actually gave me a lot of anxiety. I'm like, please, Tony, I want to see you skate. Like, it was the craziest thing.
That's really interesting. So then when you went eyes closed, it didn't impede your
It
process.
did not.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
So I think there's other ways of eyes open
100%.
that are less jarring like that.
Yep,
But
yep.
um,
You're right though. We're noticing that with some of the people that we work with, that certain processes, like the eyes open, but like maybe watching a movie and controlling the dimness of the screen or the volume of the movie is creating some kind of anxiety. So we're actually going to be getting the games to see if maybe that has a different effect. And then
don't even waste the money, Eddie.
Just do eyes closed. Jim's right.
Yes, dude, I settled the debate.
The debate settled.
Voyages neurofeedback only does eyes closed. Sorry, guy. If you want eyes open, we ain't doing that.
No, it's done. Jim's right. Yeah. He's now our advisor.
Am I on the board?
Suddenly, we have one now because you're on it.
Okay.
We didn't have one.
This is a board meeting. Welcome to the
Voyages Counseling board meeting.
Yes.
This is Jim. These are the minutes from the last meeting. There are no minutes. There was no meeting.
I love it when you play those scenarios out. That's my favorite. Just quick check-in. Do you need to go to the bathroom?
No, dude, I'm good.
Okay, that's good.
I just wiggle.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We're doing great.
Yeah, we're doing great.
All right.
It's the ADD, the body still moves, you know?
Yeah, I love that. Just do whatever you need to,
yeah,
honestly.
I'm going to do whatever I want.
Okay, so you feeling comfortable so far? Are we good?
We're good.
Okay, I haven't heard much NPR voice out of you.
Yeah, you got me out of it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a plug real quick while I'm on that.
For what?
Well, I mean, we've plugged Voyages Counseling.
Yeah.
Is there an NPR thing that I poked at earlier that you'd like to
yes,
plug?
I also do the Voyage Cast.
Oh, the Voyage Cast. That sounds
podcast.
Interesting.
It's an extension of Voyages Counseling. It's where we provide help beyond the office.
Ooh,
I know.
I can't even get into NPR mode. You just go into it so
right
easily.
into it.
Yes. Thank you, Eddie. That
You're
sounds
welcome, Jim.
Really great.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Eddie,
in the Voyage Cast, we do or I do topical episodes on therapy related things, and then tons of relationship stuff is what a lot of my focus is on. And then we do interviews of different people. And it's interesting because it's mostly interviews of people that have just reached out to me over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the beginning, we did find other people that we reached out to. It was a lot larger. We had more kind of host people in it, but it's evolved. People left. Now it's just me running the show, just like you.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Team. How did my episode when you had me on, how did it do with ratings, Eddie?
He's trying to shame me.
Did it do well?
It was the highest rated show we've had.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Having a hard time believing that.
That's weird.
Edward?
It must be some kind of delusion of yours entering into.
Eddie has famously invited me onto the podcast 1,000 times without ever actually trying to have me on the podcast.
I'm the worst for scheduling.
Yeah. It's the ADD. I get you.
Dude, it's so bad you don't even understand. When I was a kid, it took me probably 15 years to remember my best friend from childhood. Took me probably that long. Well, maybe not 15. It probably took me 9 years, I'm thinking, to remember his birthday.
Okay.
And I knew him since first grade, all the way through high school, a little bit into college. We're still friends today.
Awesome.
So I've known him my whole life, pretty much. And
pop quiz. What's his birthday?
I believe it's July 22nd.
Okay. Ooh, coming up.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yep. It could be the 21st.
I think just text him early in the week and say, happy birthday week. Yeah, that's the play there.
Yeah, it's so bad. So I'm a lot better than I used to be, but when it comes to dates, when it comes to like spelling words in order, like the letters getting them, they all get jumbled in my head.
Yeah.
I just cannot hold on to it. Okay. So when I was a professor for a little while, it was my students in the beginning would have some concern about me in my competence because I couldn't spell words properly. And so usually by the end of the class, everybody figured me out and they understood that I'm not totally incompetent, but spelling just wasn't my jam.
See, it's interesting because I feel like you actually have an impeccable memory. There are things that you recall while we're in session that you're like, hey, I feel like 6 years ago you told me about this thing. And I'm like, I mean, that's definitely true. What? How do you know that? Like,
it's a weird memory, man.
Yeah.
Like, with some things, dates, spelling words properly, certain things like that. I am the worst. When it comes to like my client's life and their world, for whatever reason, maybe it's just that everybody's story is kind of interesting to me.
Yeah.
It really sticks. And once I get talking to somebody, it starts kind of all coming back together because I really don't take notes. So I have no way to reference those things. It just comes back.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Which is weird because I always thought growing up that I was kind of, dumb. So I never thought that, you know what I mean?
Well, let's transition there because, I kind of loosely refer to the gapcast as the most authentic corner of the internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we've only had one other episode. It was pretty authentic. Anderson and I sharing a really hard story.
That's awesome.
And something all about that we've talked about extensively for a while here. So I want to ask about your personal expectation gap experience. Now, I know you might need to keep some things shrouded just for professional dignity or something, but
I'm going to mostly keep my clothes on for the...
That's actually helpful.
So I'll keep it very shrouded.
For the record, the Gapcast is no shirt, no shoes, no service. So,
okay.
Yeah, thank you.
So perfect. Yeah. Great. So I'll be very authentic.
Thank you. But if you could... Let's go. That's great. That's great. Okay. So I know that you really have struggled with ADD and
I probably have like dyslexia. I probably have dysgraphia, which is a type of difficulty in expressing one's thought in like written form or organizing that thought. And I've talked to you before about my difficulties in writing even and why I need certain tools because I just struggle to get those thoughts out. But yeah, like in school, I mean, I remember all the way back to even first grade where my parents pled with the school board to let me move on. And then they did in second grade to let me move on because I did nothing. I mean, when I say nothing, I mean, I literally showed up in the class. I didn't even know it was happening.
Wow.
I did literally nothing. But I didn't understand. I guess looking back, like I didn't understand what was really happening. Like none of it made any sense to me. I couldn't grasp the concepts. And I think in like second grade, they had me in this weird experimental like immersion class anyways, where it was like half the class was taught in Spanish. So I just sat with my buddy Marcos under the piano and he taught me bad words in Spanish. So that's all we did in Spanish class.
Nice. Good job, Marcos.
Dude, he was the best. Yeah, he was awesome. He was a total cowboy too, which is crazy. Like he could do the roping and everything and like all the tricks. Super cool dude.
Wow, fascinating.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah, no gaps there.
No gaps there. Yeah. So moving on though, like I did fairly nothing. Like I pretty much did nothing in school, even through high school. I did have a lot of tutoring, but because I struggled so much, because I failed classes so often or almost failed classes often, I really did believe that I was stupid. I believed that I was slow. I believed that I was less than. Such that I was even, and this was like a hard one, but eventually I kind of came to own it. But when I was a kid in high school, everybody kind of knew. Like it wasn't lost on people when I'm in class and I'm like, hey, I don't know what's going on, raising my hand, like, what did you say? And everybody's like, Eddie, come on, like pay attention. You know what I mean? So even the other students, even my friends, everybody knew that like I was not an academic type.
Yeah.
And so I had this nickname because my name's Eddie, was Special Ed.
Oh gosh. Oh no.
I know. And that could have gone sideways, but I kind of knew too. Like I knew that this wasn't my jam. And so I even got like a handicap shirt with a symbol on it. And I just wore that. I just owned it. I just owned it. And it was my way to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, and not kind of beat myself up too much. Because I could not figure out how people were understanding what was going on in a classroom. I could not figure out how somebody could read a book and understand or remember anything. Like I could read the same book. It might take me longer, but I could read it and have no idea the words I read. But I read all of the words, but none of it stuck.
Yeah.
At the time, and this is in the 90s, I mean, you know, Sparks Notes, I think, or Cliff Notes were popular back then. That saved me a little bit. But it wasn't really until I got into college that things started shifting and turning around for me. But to make it through my academic life in high school, I mean, I stole, cheated my way through every step of the way.
Wow.
I was an incredible manipulator with teachers, and I was very clever at cheating. I won't say how I did it because I don't want to give anybody tips.
Oh, I assumed it was statute of limitations. You're still kind of within it or something.
No.
Yeah.
I'm outside of that. I'm pretty sure it's been a long time.
Okay.
But I just don't, I don't want to give anybody ideas on like how to cheat really well because I'm so good at it. And I'll get into that in a minute. But
Okay.
on how that actually benefited me later, more than just making it through high school, which I wasn't supposed to make through. I wasn't supposed to graduate. I had a teacher that liked me and gave me the D instead of the F that I deserved, so I could just graduate.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure he had the kind of thought of like, this isn't for him. Like, we're just going to move him on.
Was there a thought that maybe he just didn't want you back next year? Didn't want to deal?
No, like I was always like, I wasn't a troublemaker.
Yeah, no, I know.
So I was a really pleasant guy.
Of course you were.
No, I wasn't. I mean, like I would say there are certain moments where I created some chaos and trouble, but I was a teenager. So I made it out of high school, and then the next step was for me to go to like a community college. No one was gonna look at me academically. There was no chance.
Yeah.
And I had no real sense of what I was going to do, to be honest with you. I mean, I kind of had a sense that maybe counseling was a career path for me because I had no other skills. Like I was really deeply insecure. I didn't know I was good at anything. Other than hanging out with people. So now I do that for a living.
Professionally, yes.
Professional hangout or person, So I basically chose that as a path. But, when you look at my SATs and you looked at all the placement testing scores, I basically spelled my name right. So when I started college, I had to literally start from the very beginning. So I started in grammar school all over again when I went to community college.
Now, you're not talking like Billy Madison. You didn't have 2 weeks in...
No, I didn't actually go to like an elementary school.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, because that would have been super weird. And, I was an adult, so that would have been, yeah. So, but they had classes for people like me at this school. And fortunately, and surprisingly, I wasn't the only one in the class. So that was a little bit affirming that I wasn't the only idiot.
Wow, okay.
And then the only class lower than mine, as English goes, was English as a second language. So people who literally didn't know how to speak English.
Wow.
That was the only class lower than mine. So I really started, when I say I started from the beginning, I started from like elementary school, and I had to redo everything for those first 2 years of college. So consequently, I took every summer class, every winter course, everything just so I could catch up. And then I transferred over to Biola University, which was crazy because I didn't choose any other college. I didn't actually, I was so ignorant about the process. I didn't know you should choose multiple schools.
Yeah.
So I just picked one and I applied and I got in. And I got in on academic probation. And I'm pretty sure maybe some of the reason why they let me in was because I was a male and they needed more males at the school. That was my suspicion.
Beautiful.
I'll take it. I don't care.
Yeah, all means possible.
Yeah. And so I went there and things started connecting a little bit more for me academically. But the juxtaposition of people who were highly intelligent, very academically savvy. I mean, even today we have some of the world's greatest philosophers who teach, at least in an adjunct position, at that school, which is crazy to think about. And I'm like, why am I here? And so it was a very difficult program. I mean, I graduated with like a 2.85 in my undergrad. And so then my master's program, I did the same thing. Again, I was super ignorant. I didn't know you were supposed to apply to multiple programs. I just applied to the one that I thought might take me, which is one that didn't require entrance exams.
Interesting.
Yeah, because there was no way. If there was an entrance exam, I was not going to, you know what I mean?
Of course.
I was not, I didn't do well on tests. I'm like a deer in headlights with tests. And so then I got into that school. And then they brought me in on academic probation. They liked the interview with me. And then when I got there in my master's program, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like, this is what I'm meant to do. Like everything came to life for me. It all started making sense. Things started clicking for me.
Yeah.
And I did really well there. I mean, for me, I've never had like a 4.0, kind of average in my life,
Mm.
even there. But I had like a 3.75 when I graduated.
Dang.
But the weirdest part for me, talking about like identity and expectations and like how we make it through this world, like when I'll never forget this. I'm sitting there on graduation day and I'm thinking to myself, like, let's just move this thing along because I did not want them to take my diploma from me. Because
Oh.
I thought that maybe like I was going to get found out or something. Like I
Yeah.
still couldn't believe that I
Yeah.
earned this. Even though it was making sense for me, even though I was learning by all accounts, I still didn't believe that I deserved this.
Mm.
And so I was wanting it just to end. Like, let's just move this thing on, like get it done, because I couldn't believe it.
Mm.
And so, time goes on and I start working professionally. Actually, I started working professionally even before I was in graduate school, doing like monitor visitation and stuff like that. But I started working in a counseling center in a psychiatric hospital, and I started feeling it out, and it felt more kind of natural and normal to me. I don't think I still trusted myself intellectually, actually, until I started this business, Voyages Counseling.
Mm.
So just shy of 15 years ago, I remember sitting in sessions, uh, trying to be the therapist. So if anybody's ever been in a therapy session, there's that kind of common motif of how a therapist sort of should act or typically behaves.
Yeah. Yeah.
And none of that made sense to me. So I couldn't do it.
Mm.
And I was really insecure. I'm like, maybe this isn't for me, And I started this business with Matt, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just, and for a while in my life, I worked at Starbucks. I'm like, maybe I'll just go back to Starbucks and, I'll just work my way up into corporate or something like that. And I still couldn't quite believe that I was competent, capable, and that this was for me.
Mm.
And so one day I basically said, like, I've got nothing to lose. I have very little clients at this point in my life. I've been fired by people probably because I was too inauthentic in the room, to be honest. And so, I basically said, forget it. I'm just going to be Eddie and we're going to see what happens.
Wow.
I'm rolling the dice,
Yeah.
and I did. And my caseload started growing. People started learning about me. I started getting referrals.
Yeah.
I started doing better than I'd ever done in my life. And then I started believing, well, maybe I actually have something to offer.
Sure. Yeah.
But
Of course.
it took me forever to believe and undo that kind of special ed sort of mentality of like,
Mm.
you're just not capable.
Yeah.
And so as time's gone by, now I'm in this field, nearly 20 years, in various different capacities. And I was even a professor for a little while too, which was mind blowing to me.
That's crazy.
That was
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
I remember, I'll never forget that too. I'm sitting, and if anybody's ever gotten anxious and got the runs, I'm in that like position right before a 4-hour class that I got to teach.
Oh no.
On the integration of psychology and theology, which I love the topic, and I learned about it a lot in Biola, and I studied and I prepared, and I'm like super stoked about this class. It's definitely my jam. I love the topic. So I'm sitting there getting ready to teach this class, and I'm like, man, my stomach is turning.
Mm.
And so I go into the bathroom and, to save everybody, a little bit. I won't go into the details, but it was rough. And so I'm sitting there on my phone texting my closest friends who knew me growing up. They knew me in high school. They knew who I was back then.
Mm.
And I'm like, guys, you're not going to believe this. I'm about to teach a class at a university.
Yeah.
And they're like, who is this?
New phone. Who dis?
I know, right? They didn't know who this was, and I was just as shocked as they were. And so then I start teaching the class, and I'm insecure as can be because I can't spell and I can't figure out how to, but I know the topic well, and I know it well enough to teach it, I think. And so then it was a 4-hour class that I taught. There was 4-hour night classes through Colorado Christian University.
Mm.
And, I'm teaching this class, and I just could not believe that I'm teaching this class. It made no sense to me. This academic delinquent, literally in a lot of ways, is now teaching at a university.
Mm.
And what's interesting, though, like how all things kind of come together, my ability to, let's say, cheat my way through school in my high school years taught me how to do it well.
Mm.
So I wouldn't be caught.
Yeah.
Well, in college, even at Christian universities, people still plagiarize and cheat.
Ooh, you caught a lot of punks, didn't you?
Oh my gosh, you cannot play the player. I was a master. And
Yes.
this is before you had, like we were just starting to get in the universities, these AI programs or whatever that could kind of run the paper through the internet. I didn't need it. I could just read it and I knew exactly what they were doing. It was too easy for me.
So did you throw the hammer down?
Oh, yeah, so bad.
Oh, man.
I crushed them.
Dude, I bet you some of your teachers gave you grace. They knew.
Oh,
come on.
I don't think they ever read my papers. I'd put weird stuff in my papers just to see if they would. I'd put like monkey raft, just like randomly in a sentence, just to see if they would catch it.
Classic.
Because I had this sense, like I always, like, I don't know, maybe I always had the sense of like reading people, but like I kind of had a sense that my teachers in high school weren't reading my papers.
Yeah.
And so I would just put random stuff in there.
Yeah.
Just to see if they were reading it. And I'd tell my buddy, I'm like, hey, look what I put in there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's see if they catch it.
That's unreal.
And they never did.
I love that so much.
So I was testing the teachers to see see if they were paying attention, because then I could just do anything I wanted.
Yeah.
If they weren't paying attention, I could just turn in anything.
Did you just give away a way to cheat?
I did.
Is that? Oh,
my bad.
Yeah. Is that a red herring? What is that? You're throwing something in there to test them.
I'm testing them to see what they're paying attention to.
I don't know what that would be called.
I don't know. Just testing.
I actually don't know what a red herring is, for the record.
Yeah, I think it's like a false thing. We'd have to look that up.
Yeah.
Do you want to look it up?
No.
We can let's move on. So I'm in college and I'm like grading these papers, and these students are just the worst at cheating.
Oh yeah.
Like they're not even trying, at cheating. Like if you're going to cheat, like put some effort into it. You know what I mean? Like don't cheat, right? But like do the work, learn. But like I don't know, because of my past, I was really, really good at finding it, and I would just crush their papers.
Wow.
And I would even write like, you got this from, these don't connect. If you had just quoted this and cited it, I would not have marked you down. And then I would write things like 50% of your paper are direct quotes from. And then I would give them the cites for their thing. There was no way to dispute it.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like quite the investigator.
Yeah.
But I think part of me too is part of the reason why I like counseling is I like the puzzle. And so like when they presented me a bad paper or whatever, it was a puzzle for me to read and to figure it out. And so, yeah.
And is that why I'm your favorite client? Is that
mostly.
Okay.
Mostly that's it. Yeah. Because you're like the hardest puzzle on the planet to figure out.
I mean, we be puzzling so hard over here.
So hard.
It's crazy. I love that we can have fun like that.
Yeah. Well, that actually brings up the thought too. Like,
okay,
that's one of my, like when I made that shift in counseling is I decided I'm just going to be myself. And part of that's I'm silly. Yeah. And I'm weird. And I say some crazy things sometimes in our sessions and in all of my sessions. And, I've definitely been fired by people for being myself.
Yeah.
Which was actually really hard from an insecurity standpoint.
Yeah, of course.
And I thought maybe I was a bad person or doing something wrong. And I just realized over time that, really none of that matters. I'm just not going to be everybody's brand.
Yeah, sure.
And that's perfectly reasonable. I can't be. But yeah.
Well, I can resonate with that. I mean, I've told you stories about things that I have done in coaching, and I'm very animated. I am trying to be fully myself. I mean, it's part of the pledge of authenticity, right? Like I'm asking people to be authentic, and I'm gonna not ask them to do something I'm not willing to do. So,
totally.
I'm weird. Like I'm gonna be kind of weird.
And I love that, and that's exactly my consideration as well. I don't know that I did consider that as much when I first started just kind of letting Eddie out of the box. But it did play out such that I am modeling in real time, like what it means to be just a real person.
Sure.
We're all just human beings in these rooms, and it doesn't have to be weird. Like we can have fun. We can laugh at the insanity of life. So much of the world is crazy and funny, and we need to find that.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. So Eddie, how did you overcome such a sizable expectation gap? Because I mean, it seems like to me it affected every part of your life, and it threatened your future. And I mean, gosh, man.
So I think, my wife, to be honest with you, always saw the potential in me. She saw it. She saw what I couldn't. And I think she was always um, just a steadfast figure in pushing me. Whenever I would doubt myself, she would be such a good encourager.
Mm,
I always thought she would have been a great therapist because she was always so very intuitive and thoughtful and aware. And so she was a very good encourager. But the other thing, I think, just what would it be? Like slowly chipping away at the realities, like pushing forward anyways, and slowly chipping away at those beliefs by just doing something. So, like believing that I'm an academic delinquent, but yet teaching at a university. In fact, I taught at 2 universities.
mm,
Um, and just by the very nature of doing the job taught me that maybe I know something that they don't.
yeah.
Maybe I have value to bring. And one of the things I realized, especially when I was teaching too, the value that I brought is I brought real life to the room. When I let Eddie out of the box, so to speak, I brought my real self, and I just did that to teaching as well.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that made a difference because I started seeing myself differently.
Mm,
And I got reasonably good reviews from my students. I had a few that were not so happy with me, but like I said, I'm not everybody's brand. But mostly I got good reviews from my students. I got a decent review from from one of the deans who was reviewing my classes, making sure I was a competent professor. I got good reviews from her. And so it reinforced what I didn't know, actually. It reinforced that I was competent and capable of this. Like, I really didn't know that I could do this. So I was just doing and winging it, kind of hoping that I could make it through. But then people were telling me that you're doing a good job. So I assumed then that maybe the new evidence presented to me is counter to the beliefs and narratives that I had that I wasn't good enough.
yeah.
The new evidence is not supporting that belief anymore.
Mm,
Doing looking at my caseload and over the years, over these last roughly 15 years at Voyages Counseling, um, I get a lot of referrals. I get a
yeah.
lot of people coming in. I get a lot of people coming in from the community who talk about me on Facebook or talk to their friends about me.
Yeah.
And that's really the biggest honor too, is that people trust me in that space so much that they would send others to me. And
Mm,
so I don't take that lightly, but it's also a really big compliment that maybe I am doing something right. Maybe I am making a difference,
yeah.
and then over the years, unsolicitedly, I've had a few people, maybe 3 over the last couple years, reach out to me completely out of the blue.
Mm,
They're now living in different states, and they're just like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, like, you really changed my life, and you made a difference for me."
mm,
And those are a little bit difficult, for me to hear that, because the expectation for the clinician is that that's not my privilege. My job is to go do the work. It's not my privilege to get that feedback, because I'm not here for that feedback. I'm here to make a difference to the
yeah.
degree that I can,
Yeah.
and to the degree that I understand how to do it. And on occasion, people have come back and told me these things, and that's shocking to me, to be
Mm,
honest with you. Even a little bit still, because there are times where I still, I'm a very reflective person. So even after sessions, I'll still question, what I'm doing, my motivation, where I was, in line, where I was maybe out of line. So I'm always kind of self-analyzing, but it's no longer, it used to be that kind of a self-deprecating kind of self-analysis. It's no longer that,
yeah.
mainly because I've been getting good feedback.
Mm,
And it's like, oh, I have a new narrative now
yeah.
that maybe I'm doing something good. But I think to your question is like, how did you get from here to there? To be honest with you, I think I just kept moving forward. I just kept doing it.
Yeah.
And I kept getting different feedback and different feedback and different feedback. And, I don't know, maybe I just chose right too.
Yeah.
Because there was really no other, there was no other academic option for me.
I mean, that
At the
feels like you're
time,
overstating it, but
at
I
the, at the
understand.
time, at the time when I was in it, like I didn't know where else to go.
Yeah.
It was kind of this or the trades. And I already had at 17, I already had kind of a bad back. So I'm like, maybe that's not a good option for me.
Yeah.
And then I was asthmatic. So I'm like, maybe the military is not going to work. So
Mm,
I don't know.
yeah.
So I don't know. I felt like this was, and actually to go back in time a little bit, when I was 18, I was at a camp, and I was dating this girl, and I was talking to her sister at this camp, and the conversation went really well. She was struggling with some things, and I'm like, hey, maybe this is what I'm supposed to do for a living.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It just like occurred to me to have that awareness. And yeah, I mean, I kind of just put one foot in front of the next.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things, with the ADD comes interest in everything that's shiny. And so I had a lot of interests in things, but I didn't have any belief of competence in anything other than that one moment at a camp. I'm like, well, maybe that's the right path.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
So a few things I hear you saying is like leaning into feedback and getting support. I know your wife has been a big source of support for you. And I wouldn't normally know my counselor's wife,
I know.
but
we have kind of a unique story.
We do, yeah. So Alicia does this infusion every other week.
Right.
And in our first meeting, I was telling Eddie about this therapy that she gets. And he's like, oh, where does she do it at? And I told him, and he's like, okay, like what floor? Like, do you know the place? Yeah, my wife works there. And we realized right away that his wife was my wife's favorite nurse. And there was a lot of great nurses. Love all of you from back then. But like, I mean, that was wild. So she undoubtedly is great support for you.
Oh, she's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the best.
So
anytime I would get anxious, overwhelmed, fearful, whatever.
Yeah.
I could go to her, I could vent, I could break down, I could go through whatever feeling I have. And she would just say, remember, you've gotten through this before. And she would always reframe it, clarify, and show me the error of my thoughts.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Eddie, that's so good because that takes a lot of courage sometimes. Men aren't historically good about that.
No, we're the worst.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think it's a shame. Like one of my premises is if we're going to become fully formed disciples of Christ,
Amen.
We have to lean into authenticity with God and authenticity with others. The shape of the cross suggests it.
Amen.
And you're choosing to do it.
Right.
I know that you live by a code of ethics in counseling, but you do therapeutically share authentically in counseling. Yeah. And I just see how that has actually helped you.
Yeah.
Another concept about the expectation gap is that, we experience disappointment, dissatisfaction, and distress in the middle of any gap. And those are things we just shouldn't walk alone in. So again, shout out to you for seeking that support. Yeah. I mean, probably others, not just your wife, but yeah.
Yeah, there were other like moments or hints or nods along the way. But, some of it was just like, to be honest with you, some of it was like, I don't know what else to do. So I guess this is where I'm going.
Yeah.
And then I think I have a hard time saying that like my faith necessarily actually had anything to do with that away.
This is actually where I want to go.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that because I feel like my engagement with God was more passive in terms of seeking out guidance in that. I think at certain points, like before we moved to Colorado and before I started this business, I heard 2 words from God was trust and wait. But it wasn't very specific like, hey, this is the job you should do.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that was spoken to me just through those different encounters and different engagements. There was actually a moment when I was at Biola where a peer of mine, we were doing like a mock therapy thing, and she looks at me, she's like, Eddie, like, you really need to do this for a living. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't know what to make of that. But from a faith standpoint, like, I don't know, it seemed like a good path. But I don't think I heard anything specific.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like when you share about, that high school girlfriend's sister at camp.
Right.
Like, I believe that the Holy Spirit put a spotlight on you. Did a good job there. Pay attention to that. Like
that's a fair point because I wasn't terribly self-aware in a lot of ways. So that was a good moment of like, kind of that meta awareness of myself of like, hey, notice what you're doing right now. You might be good at this.
Yeah.
Because normally I don't notice anything like that.
Yeah. You're totally oblivious.
Especially back then. Completely oblivious to that's why I struggled in school.
Sure.
Because I just couldn't make sense of it.
Yeah.
But that was a moment of clarity. So that's fair. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. I could go on and on.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this a ton, but at some point we need to get this to an
I don't know
end.
what point that should be, though.
Yeah, I mean, probably do a 5-hour pod.
Yeah, we just
right?
keep going.
Yeah,
It's fine. I'll
people would
cancel my
love
day.
it.
I'll cancel my day.
There's a lot of disappointed people that are getting emails and texts right now. No, let's go ahead and begin to wrap this up. I undoubtedly would love to have you back on at some
Yeah,
point.
it'd be awesome.
Talk about maybe more specific things. I will probably have you on before you have me on. Okay.
I mean, that just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had me on before.
Well, I mean, a second time.
Yeah.
Maybe even 3 times. Who knows? All right, Eddie. Do you want to play a game?
Okay.
All right. This isn't really a game. It's just the lightning round. Okay.
Oh, shoot. It's a test. I told you I'm a deer in headlights with this stuff.
We're just going to go quick. We're going to blitz you with some things, and I need like gut reactions. I need you to just really own it.
I'll try to be as appropriate as possible.
Okay. Wow. Yes, that might be hard for you.
It is.
All right. Just quick, easy questions. No big deal. In and out or Culver's?
In and out. You're wrong about Culver's.
Unbelievable. You're a terrible
You're wrong.
person.
Yeah, you're just wrong.
guys, in and out. I cannot say enough terrible things about In and Out.
Culver's. I know. It's a terrible
unreal.
place. It's good that you said that.
Yeah.
You have terrible things to say about Culver's.
I knew you were going to say In and Out. It's not all your fault because you grew up in California.
I did grow up there, yeah.
So it comes...
Which is sometimes unfortunate, but
yeah, your terribleness comes naturally. Okay? But I will often tell people, like, if you like In and Out, what is wrong with you? You live in a world where Culver's exists. Like, come on, bro. All right, keeping this moving. Counseling or therapy?
Like, what language do I prefer?
Yes.
That's tough, dude. I actually prefer counseling, I think.
Okay.
Therapy feels just overly clinical.
Yeah.
And I'm so casual about my approach to things a lot of times that therapy feels intense or harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually kind of assumed you'd say that, but, sometimes I'm like, is he my counselor? Is he my therapist? I don't know, Like,
I'm not a psychologist. That I know, because I don't have a PhD.
Yeah.
I wanted one, but
yeah,
I figured out that you don't need one. So
that's perfect. All right. Individual or couples? Which do you prefer?
That's a really good question.
Oh, man. The lightning round never disappoints.
Dude, that's hard. That's hard. I don't even know how to answer that. I love working with couples because there's a lot of dynamics in play. It's very interesting. You get, when one person says something, you get the reactions from the other, and I love that interplay.
Yeah.
Individuals, though, like sometimes people are much more vulnerable to say all the thoughts they have to say instead of they have maybe some curated thoughts in couple sessions.
Yeah.
So that can be really interesting. But it's all, I don't know. I like it. I don't know how to answer that.
Okay, that's fair. All right. Does my hair make me look cool and relevant or just oddly emo?
It's a little emo today.
It is.
It's a little emo today. When you freshly got it cut a little while ago.
Ooh, that was nice,
good.
right?
It was good.
Yeah, I'm due.
Yeah, you are due.
Okay.
I noticed those things.
Yeah, I appreciate you. All right. On a scale from 1 to 10, how much do you hate telehealth?
That's tough. I do kind of hate telehealth.
Yeah.
Maybe like an 8. I hate it that much. I can't say quite a 10 because there are times where it feels like that was good. It was useful.
Yeah.
Maybe in the vein of usefulness, it's very useful. But man, I prefer having a person in the room.
Yeah, sure.
I way prefer that.
Totally. It's way better. But honestly, I love, like, I don't have to have like the secure line thing going, right? So I just use Zoom.
Yeah.
And, it's nice in the way that like there's a lot of flexibility. Like I can coach people anywhere.
Yeah.
I can be anywhere,
Right.
This summer we'll take some trips and I'll be like, hey, sorry, you're on Zoom today.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned that earlier, like the difference between therapy or counseling and and coaching.
You just did the thing.
And coaching. And there is a real advantage to coaching because you can be involved in a way that, therapists can't be. There are some, my mind always goes to the ethical risks of it. There are some risks that people don't always account for in the coaching world that they should. But I love the idea that you can do coaching kind of from anywhere. And counseling you can as well, but I think even clients, to the telehealth question, I feel like clients don't like telehealth.
Yeah, sure.
They prefer in person too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you only licensed in Colorado, or do you have a multi-state deal?
I used to be licensed in California too, but I realized I was never moving back, so I let that go. I didn't want to pay the money. I thought about getting licensed in Florida. I'm still kind of working on it, but just to expand kind of a telehealth market. And I have clients who've moved out there that want to still see me.
Sure.
But that's very complicated.
Yeah.
And so I thought about it, but I have to rely on California to get documentation to me.
Yeah, you're never getting that.
Yeah, I'm probably never going to get licensed in Florida because of California.
All right, we kind of chunked up the lightning round with that got long. My bad.
Well, I'm so distracted.
I'm new at podcasting, Eddie. I have a lot to learn. Yeah, kind of. This is my second episode.
What?
Yes.
You're so good at this.
I'm so good.
You are fantastic.
I have a lot to learn still, but we're going to get there. All right. This is the most important question I will ask you today. Okay.
I had such an inappropriate response to that.
Okay. Who would do better at stand-up? You or me?
You. I think it's you. I really do. I think it's you.
That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah. I think I would freeze up. Because I need a conversation to get me to going. You can just go. I need the conversation.
Yeah.
Like if the stand-up was the conversation, maybe I could do that. But, who knows what's going to come out of my mouth if I'm letting myself just rip. That's not always a good thing.
Well, if you do stand up, I could be in the crowd and heckle you and we could have that conversation. I would love that.
That'd be really funny.
So much. Oh, gosh. This has been fun. Eddie, you are amazing. You really are special, but not in that way.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to restate what I said at the beginning. You are the legend behind the man.
Well, thanks.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
You've helped me in real ways, immense ways. Man, I got some real gaps and some real hurts, and I have loved over the years that I could trust you with all of it. So plug it. Like, where do people go if they are interested in not therapy, but counseling with Eddie Eccker?
So if they want to come in, the best approach is to go to the website, voyagescounseling.com. That's VOYAGES counseling.com. If you want the podcast, you can find that also on the website, as well as I have a blog on there, and I have a bunch of articles, probably 135 plus articles on there that I've written. I actually just put one out today in response to a client. He had a question. So I'm like, I'll just write an article on it. And then I put that on there. So tons of information on the website, voyagescounseling.com. The podcast is The Voyage Cast, and that can be found anywhere a podcast can be found. And when I do it, when I actually launch it, I'll let you know. But I am working on a book or two. Ooh. And so, I'm trying to catch up to you, Jim.
Man, I'm starting the process of 3, so let's get there.
I know. Okay. But I haven't even published 1, and I'm already on 2.
Man, that is impressive. The ADD brain.
Dude, it's so wild. You don't want to be in there. It's like a bunch of cats running around. You ever seen the movie Inside Out?
Actually, no. Someone told me the other day I'm a toad.
But there's a scene where it shows the internal kind of world of a cat, and it's just a bunch of cats like walking on this like board that controls the other cat.
Oh gosh.
You know what I mean? And sometimes that's kind of the ADD brain. Like we don't have people in there. We just have cats running around. So
that's a great
That's kind of how that works.
That's an amazing illustration. Eddie, I'm really grateful for you. Glad you could bring your insights today.
Absolutely. Man.
I hope someone was encouraged by what you shared. And I don't know how to sign these things off. I mean, I guess I just turn to the camera and I'm like, hey.
Can we just wave? Goodbye.
Thank you for coming to the Gapcast.
I love you.